Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig.
My name's Ryland.
And this is a review show special. Now, normally, we don't have Master Ryland Petty on the review show specials.
But recently, Thea's been trying to take over the review shows.
Thea has been trying to take over the review
I've
shows.
had to jump over to here for some safety.
Go somewhere where you know Thea won't follow you. But yeah, I've asked Ryland to be a part of this review show special because this is something that we've been asked to review for quite a while. And this is something that Ryland has been working on for a few months now. Yes. And you've actually worked it in gigs. I have. And you've actually told me that this is going to be a big part of your act moving forward. Mm-hmm. So Ryland's here basically to do the majority of the review, and I'm just here to ask him questions. Now, if you've never seen a review show special before, the idea is, unlike the main review show, we take a deep dive into a particular subject, a particular creator, a particular product. And today we're going to be looking at the Portal X Pro table. Now, there's a couple of different tables. There's smaller ones and there's bigger ones, and there's a couple of different versions.
Which one did we get?
You're looking at the main table, sort of the bigger table. The smaller ones, but you're looking at the main bigger table. And this is kind of the natural progression beyond, originally this sort of thing was built into close-up pads. Yeah. The Portal close-up mat came out years and years and years ago, and it was fairly popular, but it was a mat that you put on a table that allowed you to move one thing from one place to another. There have been other versions of things like this as well, like the N pad. You remember that, where I smashed it into a billion pieces for a variety of different reasons, one of which is it was the noisiest thing I've ever heard in my life, but that wasn't the only reason. This is kind of, I would say, the ultimate version of that. It is a custom-built table. And the table has the ability to do a lot. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that, yes.
And I've got a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. Because, and I think we can be very honest with this review. Yep. Because when you look at the trailer, it kind of says this is a table with things that move around all over the place and there's secret buttons and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I think we can take a lot of the mysticism out of this and be completely honest with what's going on here. Mm-hmm. And I think the best thing to do, first of all, would be to show a performance of this table that you use in your act. So you've kind of put a 10-minute act together with this table. The table makes up the first half of the act, and the second half of the act is card, ball, and candle manipulation, isn't it? Or a little bit of candle manipulation, a little bit of ball manipulation, mainly card manipulation. That's in the second half of the act. We're not really going to touch on that stuff. We'll show you the whole performance, including the card manipulation, because it kind of gives you a frame of reference. If we just showed you the table, it wouldn't make much sense, because the presentation that Ryland's come up with is, this is my journey into magic. And if we stopped at the end of what the table's used for, it'd be like, now this is what I'm doing now. And then it would stop, which wouldn't make much sense. So we're going to show you the whole act. This is live performance footage from Showtown Museum in Blackpool. When you were at the Blackpool Magic Convention, you and Mark Waddington were doing a series of workshops, weren't you?
Mini magic makers.
At the Showtown Museum. Yeah. And it started with Mark opening up with Suit Jacket Escape, and then there was a workshop.
Suit Jacket Escape. Yeah.
Then there was a workshop. Then you did kind of a mini cups and balls routine, and then you finished off by doing this act. And this is what you're going to see now. So we're not going to go any further. Have a look at the performance. The bit that you want to focus on is the first 5 minutes, where Ryland is sitting down at a table. You can enjoy the second half by all means, but have a look at the first half. That's a performance of this table, and then we will bring it back into the studio and we will give it a full review.
I'm going to tell you the story of me. I'm basically going to tell you my entire life through the use of magic. You see, it all starts off when I was 2 years old, and my dad, he was trying to teach me how to make a coin vanish. You see, when I was 2 years old, this was made before I could speak. So when he wanted me to say abracadabra, I always said, fish. Fish. This isn't true. Now, in case you missed it, I'll do it again. Now you see, back then I used quite small cubes. My hands, they were quite small, but now I use cubes that are a little bit bigger.
Whoa!
Now you see, after PGT, I went on AGT. And on AGT, I combined my favourite things together. Lego and magic. Now you see, with the Lego, I did some pretty cool things. You see, I took the Lego and I used the magic to build it all on its own. Bit like this. In my opinion, this is my favourite ship from Star Wars. Now you see, after AGT, I got the contract at the House of Secrets in Blackpool. Now you see, I got this contract by doing this very trick. Watch this. One more time. That is a big finish. Now you see, after the House of Secrets, I got really invested in doing the tribute act to Harry Potter, using my two favourite spells. The appearance of light, Lumos. And the appearance of anything, Accio. Let's try something simple, like feather. Accio. Now this basically leads me to where I am now, doing my favourite act at the moment. And it looks a little bit like this.
Okay, so right. First of all, brilliant table, brilliant
It
performance.
is brilliant, yeah.
Let's just get a couple of simple questions out of the way. This does not have a great tutorial. There's 2 little video files, isn't there, that effectively show you how the table's built and how to
How to
set it
assemble
up.
the table, how to charge the table, and the second video is how to attach the catapult.
Okay, I have questions, lots of questions. So first of all, this comes flight cased.
It does. It is such a flat packing tray.
So do you want to talk about the flight case first of all?
Yeah.
Because some people might not have ever worked with a stage prop before,
Yeah,
and therefore
so-
might not know about flight casing and so on and so forth.
So, I mean, people probably know what a flight case is, but basically, the size of the flight case is the size of the tabletop. The size of that thick on the side of the tabletop for an extra part, and then the case is only like that big, so it flat packs quite small.
You could easily fit it in the back of a car.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so as long
As it's not a mini.
how long does it take to set up the table?
I've only done it like not that many times, but if you like tried it quite a lot, and if you really got like really used to it over and over again, you could probably get to doing it in like 5-10 minutes.
How long is it taking you at the moment?
15, 20.
15.
But, like I said, I've only like set it up at an actual gig like 3 or 4 times. Like that performance that you saw there was the 3rd time I ever did it in a show.
Okay, but you're anticipating it dropping down to about 5 or 10 minutes.
that was the 2nd time I ever did it in the show, because the first time I was going to do 2 shows, but one of them was there wasn't enough space because they're having a big party and they didn't anticipate what space they actually needed, so we had to do a completely different show.
Okay, so
Actually, back to the table.
25 minutes at the moment. It's taking you about 15 to 25 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes, yeah.
But over time, you think...
I'm probably going to get it down to like on my 4th attempt, I'm probably going to get it like 17, but I can probably 13, but you could probably get it to 5 to 10 minutes quite fast.
Okay, and you talked about charging the table. Does it hold a charge for a long time? Like, is it always
for a
on? Can
long
you talk to me
time.
about that?
It lasts for a very long time, but like it's suggested to charge it up when it's about to get below 15. Like basically, there's like this big thing. It's like 16 point, 15 point, blah 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 blah, and it goes all the way down. You don't really want to let it pass 15. It's suggested to, but you could go all the way down, I think.
Okay, and you don't need to have it plugged in during the performance. You plug it in.
No, it's got battery.
You don't even plug it in. You take the battery out.
Yeah, you take the battery out of the table, plug it in, put the battery back in.
Worth noting, it doesn't come with a UK. That you have to buy an adapter in order to charge it up, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the adapter, it actually fits. Believe it or not, it actually fits inside of the plug socket. If you fold the wire correctly, it actually fits inside of the holder for the actual charger. Okay,
so it comes flight cased. It takes about 20 minutes to set up.
Yep.
When it's set up, you have to charge it, obviously, or you charge it beforehand and then set it up at a gig. That's fine. Do you want to talk to me about the functionality of the table and how forget about the catapult for now, we'll talk about that separately. Can you talk about the table, what it does, and how easy is it to work? Because I know you've put a lot of time and effort into that act. And you have to come up with your own ideas. They don't really give you any ideas. You have to come up with your own ideas to do with this. You kind of went down the route of telling your story through magic, which is great. How easy is it to use it? What are the different points on the table that do stuff?
Yeah.
How do you activate it? Talk to me about everything.
So, the back left, there's a little flap that drops down so you can make something vanish. Back right, there's something that makes it vanish. You've got the catapult, which we'll talk about later. And then in the middle of the table, a bit
well, hang on.
forward.
Before we go to the back left, before we go to the middle of the table, back left, back right.
Yeah.
You talk about making it vanish. How easy is it to make it vanish? How do you operate that?
So,
and where does it go when it's vanished?
So there's a little thing at the back. So what happens is when it drops in, it like goes down and it slides into this little holders. So this is like
a little mini
Imagine
savant.
if this is a table.
They can't see your hands.
So imagine if like the table top was there, the actual table, like the actual gimmick ends like there, and the holders, they stick out like there. So like you can just reach in. You can just like reach in and grab what you need. So like if it was on the table, I just was to reach in, grab it, and I could do something with it.
So once it's vanished into the table, it's easily accessible just by dropping your hands to the side.
So I use the thing on the thing. So there's a little remote connected to a wire, so you can plug it into the actual table, and then have that sticky tack to the table leg, so you can control it with your knees, or you can have someone with the remote controls controlling it themselves.
You use your knees, don't you?
I use my knees, yeah.
Okay, and so you press your knees, and that will vanish the item. And can you give an example? They've seen the performance. Can you give us an example of various different points in your routine when you were using those?
I grabbed a cube from the hole, and I used it to make the cube vanish. And then the second cube, I grabbed the cube from where that hole, and I made the second cube vanish, and that one appear. I use it to make the coin disappear. I use it in the chocolate routine to make the balls disappear. I believe that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so effectively you're using your knees to make those drop, so you've both hands free. Is it difficult to do that? That sounds really hard.
No, it's just like this. You just nudge it with your knees. So you just sit there and you nudge.
But the key thing is not to look down.
Yeah, you don't want to look down, because you can feel it with your knees. So if you can feel it with your knees, all you got to do is just slightly give it a nudge.
I know when you first started rehearsing this, you were accidentally activating those.
No, it wasn't accidentally. No,
there were times when I was watching you practice and you were like, I didn't mean to do that, and a little hole opened up on the table.
Oh, yeah. Then,
when you first started,
I was just getting used to it. Then. So, like, because, like, every time, like, I thought this week I was like, boom, and I went back, like, my knees just went, and then knocked into it, and the little hole just went, what, and it opened.
Okay. But that doesn't happen anymore. It's practice, right?
No, yeah.
Then you're talking about the middle of the table or the front of the table or something.
Yeah, so in the middle of the table, near the front.
Look at the screen because they can't see your hands.
I know. I'm just directing myself with the hands. So, in the middle of the table, more to the front, there's a little rectangular thing in the table that drops down to make a little box, and then once the box is there, it like moves along to a different part and reveals another box that it can lift up. And in that box, it also goes down and moves over and releases another box that's there. So you got 3 different sections. So like the 3 sections that I was using is I put a mini cube in the thing, dropped it down to the box, and then it moved over.
What did you preset the table with, just so they understand the concept? So it wasn't preset with a mini cube, was it?
No. What do you mean?
What do you mean by preset? Like, before you start the act, you've got things hidden inside that section. You've got a big cube, and you've got. So, can you explain that?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a mini cube.
There's not a mini cube in that table to begin.
No. So I just said I put the mini cube there. So
but that's not preset. I'm asking you. Listen to the question, mate. I'm saying before you start the act, when you walk over to the table, you don't have a mini cube hidden in that table. What? So they understand the concept of. Because I really struggled to get this. In the middle section, you've got the big cube. Can you talk to them what you've got and what happens?
In the first section, it's raised up, so there's nothing there. In the second section, you've got a cube in a quick solve position. And in the third section, I've got the Lego built Slave 1.
Okay.
So then I put the mini cube on, and then it drops down, goes to the side, and reveals the next one, which comes up, and that's a big cube. I solve the big cube, put it to the side, and then I take my Lego, pour the Lego onto the table, make a big pile with it. And then when it's in a pile, I do it again, and it drops down, moves across, and it comes up, and it's built.
Right. And can you go back? You okay? Can you go back and forth between sections?
Yeah. So on the very back of the table, there's 2 little buttons. So you got a little button there, a little button there. So on the table, it'll be like there and there. And basically, when you press the one on the left, it moves it moves to the left, and when you press the one on the right, it moves to the right.
So you don't actually use the one going to the right. You only just go to the left, don't you? But effectively, you could go back to the right. So you could have something in the middle of the table, and you could make it vanish by going back to the right.
Yeah.
But you don't do that.
No, I don't do that. But you could.
Okay. So there are options there completely. Okay.
So, like, for example, if I could use it, I could take the mini cube, turn it big, and then I could also then change it back to a smaller size.
Okay. And what's the actual quality of the table like?
Oh, it's very high quality, I would say. It's very high quality.
Has it ever failed on you?
No.
Okay. Because I know you've practiced this a lot. So
Unless like I've done something.
Like, okay, can you give me an example?
Yeah, so like I haven't like actually I've stuck the button to the table. I haven't plugged the wire in, so the flaps don't work. That's my fault. I forgot to actually like move the box into the position. Well, not the box, but like the middle part into position. When I first started, so when it came up, it was slightly off angled because I didn't actually set it up properly. But then I set it up properly, so now it works.
Okay.
But that doesn't happen anymore.
Okay, yeah. I'm just going through all different things. And what's the actual table like? I'd be worried to do like you're banging a chop cup down on there pretty hard at one point. Like, I suppose my question is, how robust is the table if you're not using the little, if you're just using it as a table? Because some people, I know you use this just for your 5-minute act, but some people might want to use this to do a whole performance.
Yeah. As long as you're not like pushing down, like as long as you're not like really like pushing down onto the actual flaps and the section in the middle, as long as you're pushing down, it's fine. It's a really strong table. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are the angles like? Because you were talking to me about how you did it at a kid's party, and it was awkward to do because the kids were looking up.
Yeah, so that was Tom's fault really, because when he got them to stand up, he got them to stand around the table, so then they all just got closer and closer, and then they were literally just touching stuff on the table.
Okay.
And as he kept on then telling us to get back, because like Tom should have like said, just stand up where you are is what he should have said. He said, everybody come over here. So yeah, he should have said, everybody stand up where you are. What's this? But yeah.
Okay. But if people are sitting down, they're not going to be able to see much.
Yeah, like if they're sitting down, they're not going to be able to see. If they're sitting on chairs, perfect. If they're standing up, you don't want them to be like trying to get closer.
So if you were doing this at the House of Secrets, this would be perfect because they're sitting on tables, for example, and even though you're on a slightly raised, but it's only a slightly raised stage, and then back.
Yeah, but also I could use the camera at the House of Secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned the Catapult. What's that?
So it's an extension that you can get for it, and it goes onto the back of the table and it screws in, and basically it's like, so there's a catapult part and a lifty uppy part. So basically it holds 2 different items of whatever you want, and basically with the catapult it like lifts it up onto the table, but you got to cover it up. So with that as a handle, what I use it for is I have a silk and I put the silk on the table, and the Rubik's Cube it drops into the silk, and then as I screw it up, and then boom, there's a silk there. And there's a cube in there. Which
so it throws
it like lifts it up and then just like plops it on the table, and then it like comes back. And then with the other one, which I don't actually use, it takes the item and then like lifts it up. Now what I use that for is I actually use it to hold the silk that I produce in the actual manipulation. So we haven't actually sorted the jacket out, but because my jacket's manippy, I need to sort it out properly. So like, because I need to be able to do it on the table. It's just a matter of practice, which I haven't been able to do yet. So basically what would happen is I've just got the jacket on for the whole entire time, and then as I stand up I just take the red silk and then walk over to it and make the thing vanish and then produce the silk. But yeah, that's the catapult.
And how is that operated?
By remote control, or you can have another one with those wires things, but the wires, you can't really put them anywhere that's useful.
Okay. So that's no good.
No, it is good for like, you can have it in certain positions that could help you, because like if you're doing a trick where you can put your hand there and press the button, then you can do it. So it depends on what you need.
You have the remote control
and
sewed
also,
into the.
Yeah, and also, there is a remote control for the middle spot in the middle, like the big spot in the middle that goes down to the side and stuff. There's a remote control for that, which is the biggest one.
But you use buttons for that on the table?
Yeah, I use the buttons for that, but there is a remote control. There's remote controls for all the flaps and the catapults.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And the remote control for the catapult that you use to make the cube appear is in the silk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Right. So, what else do people need to know? Anything?
I think that's a lot. And the tutorial was hard for us to find because it didn't come in the flight case.
No, it didn't. We had to chase that up.
Mm.
So, knowing what this is, would you get it again?
If I had a choice to go back, I would get this. Yeah, 100%. This is amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess the most important thing is you come up with your own routines for it.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually give you routines, so yeah.
Yeah, but you could literally, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, this table's like amazing. It's incredible, really.
You could do Matrix with it. You could do.
Yeah, you could do Matrix with it. 100%.
You could do absolutely anything with it, really.
Yeah.
Okay. So realistically, if you've got a venue, if you were like somewhere like the Magic Bar Live, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it'll just be set up permanently. You are a touring act, so you don't have a venue that you perform exclusively at. So you have to travel with it in a flight case. Makes it a bit more of a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
But you still think it's worth it?
I would say it's worth it, yeah.
Okay.
This is 100% worth it, yeah.
So what would you give it?
100%.
100%?
Max marks, yeah.
Okay. I would give it 100% as well. I mean, I've got one more question that I know people... I'm trying to think of all the questions people have asked. Noise issues. Is there?
There is some noise, but I would use music with this. Like, even if it's a talking trick. Like, in fact, what I'm doing is a talking trick. I'd use music with this.
Yeah, you've got a backing track, haven't you?
Yeah, but like, it's not that noisy. It's just like a...
And if people are... This isn't the sort of thing that you have people standing around the table looking at close up.
No.
This is
we only did that because Tom made a mistake.
This is the sort of thing where people are sitting further back, like you just saw in the video.
Yeah.
In which case they're not going to hear it anyway.
Yeah, which they won't hear from the chair.
But the backing track kind of
covers it
anyway. So it's not the cheapest trick in the world. It's really designed for a professional magician. But if you can think of a reason to use it, this is something that would absolutely fit your act. So what would you give it?
100%.
100%. Yeah, it gets 100% from me as well. I think it's limited only by your imagination. I also think that there's not going to be many people that are doing this. But don't make the mistake. I don't know what you think. Don't make the mistake that you can buy this and it's going to replace sleight of hand, and so you're going to do some really cool stuff, and it's not going to be any sleight of hand. You've kind of combined sleight of hand with this.
Yeah, like the chop cut routine. It isn't that much sleight of hand, but there's some sleight of hand. Sometimes, depending on how I feel, I won't even use the gimmick for the coin. I'll make the coin vanish by hand, like depending on how I'm feeling. I mean, all the manipulation, that's sleight of hand.
Yeah, that's the second half of the act, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
but also the cube stuff where it's jumping from one place to another and
that's
all of that.
Because I'm like hiding cubes, making cubes vanish, which is the table. But like hiding the cube and producing it, that's sleight of hand. But yeah.
Okay, so 100% from me, 100% from Ryland. And for everybody that's asked us to review this, there you go, you're welcome. If you are wanting to invest in something that really will maybe take your act to the next level, then this is something that you might want to consider. 100% from me, 100% from Ryland. Ryland, thank you so much for joining me on this review show.
Two.
Yes, it is indeed. Thank you for joining me on this review show. Really appreciate it. Ryland will be back on the next review show special. On the next review. Craig and Ryland review show. I don't know what I'm talking about. If you haven't already watched the Q&A from earlier on this today, please do so. It was a good one this week. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Any questions, let us know down below. And we'll see you again. Don't forget to join the Netrix. It's my online streaming platform for magicians. You can get access immediately. And I'll catch you again. My name's Craig.
My name's Ryland.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again right here on Magic
TV.
TV.